Assalamualaikum to Media Hydra. Today we are going to present about report on financial performance for subject business finance. Code subject is FIN 2608. My group member is Abdullah, which is me, Abdullah Ashraf bin Oshamuddin, and Muhammad Ali Kwan bin Zainal. Moving on to the next slide, which is the question 1. It's about ratio. So we will count for 3 years, which is from 2022, 2023, and also 2024, and we will analyze which year has the higher analysis. So we will choose that year. So for the first one is current ratio. The formula is current asset divide current liability. So we will count for that 3 years, and we find out that in analysis 2022 has a good current ratio. It is because the analysis is higher. So for number 2, quick ratio, the formula is current asset minus inventory divided by current liability. So out of the 3 years that we count, we find out that 2023 has the higher quick ratio because the analysis is higher. So number 3, inventory turnover ratio. The formula is sales divide inventory. Out of the 3 years that we count, 2023 has a good inventory turnover ratio because the analysis is higher. For number 4, the formula for average collection period is account receivable divided by sales times 360. So out of the 3 years that we count, the analysis get 2023 has a higher average collection period because the analysis is shorter. So for number 5 is total asset turnover. The formula is sales divided by total asset. So out of the 3 years that we count, we find out that 2023 has a higher total asset turnover because the analysis is higher.
Okay, so for the number 6 is the debit ratio. The formula for debit ratio is total debit divided by total asset. So for the first year, we get the 12%, and the second year we get 90%, and the third year we get 37%. So the analysis is 2020 has a good debt ratio since the analysis is lower, which is for debt ratio, the lower is the good. So for the number 7 is the time interest earn ratio. The formula is earning before interest and tax divided by interest. So the 2020 we get 5 times, 2023 we get 4.92 times, and the last year we get 2.38 times. So the analysis is 22,000 has a good time interest earn ratio because the analysis is higher. So for the time interest earn ratio, when it's high, is good. So for the number 8 is the net profit margin. The formula of the net profit margin is net income divided by sales. So for the first year we get 3.6%, in the second year we get 3.7%, and the third year we get 3.1%. So is the higher the percent is the good. So the analysis is 22,000 has a good net profit margin because the analysis is higher. Number 9 is the return on asset. The formula is net income divided by total asset. So the first year we get 7.2%. The second year we get 3.7%, and the last year we get 1.5%. So we get the analysis is 20,023 has a good return on asset because the analysis is higher, which is the higher the return on asset is good. Next is the return on equity. The formula is net income divided by common equity. So for the first year we get the 7.5%, and the second year we get 7.9%, and the last year we get 4.3%. So the analysis 2023 has a good return on equity because the analysis is higher.
Question 2. Let's evaluate the company performance based on its cash flow capability, asset management efficiency, debt management, and profitability trends over 3 consecutive years. The cash balance went up from RM 400,000 in 2022 to RM 560,000 in 2023. Then it went down to RM 510,000 in 2024. The liquidity was still okay, but the big difference in short-term debt in 2024 shows that the cash flow was higher. While in 2024, receivables stay at high at RM 1,700,000, showing that customers were paying slower. Inventory went down in 2023, then went up again in 2024, which shows stock control was not consistent. Asset turnover also went down, meaning assets were not making as much revenue. Financial risk went up because the short-term debt grew a lot from RM 340,000 in 2022 to RM 1,260,000 in 2024. Long-term debt only went down a little, so companies still depending on short-term debt. The TIE ratio fell from 5.0 to 2.4 times, showing a weaker ability to pay interest. Net income in 2024 dropped to RM 82,500 from about RM 180,000 in 2022. Net margin went down from 7.2% to 3.2%, so ROA and ROE also went down. Revenue stays steady, but higher costs and interest expenses reduce profit. We're on to the next slide, which is question 3. The way they can do is the first one, improve their collective receivable. The company can give an early payment discount or send reminders to customer to collect their payment faster. This will improve their cash flow and reduce the high receivables. Number 2 is control inventory better. They can use a better stock planning and avoid overstocking or understocking. This will reduce the holding cost and make inventory management more consistent. Number 3 is reduce depends on the short terms debt. Shift some short-term debts to long-term debts or look for a cheaper financing option. This will reduce the pressure on cash flow and interest expenses.
Okay, so for the next question is to compare the performance of Aurora Prime Berhad with the industry average at the year 2024. Okay, so this is the okay, so industry information for current ratio is for industry average is 2.2x and Aurora Berhad is 1.17x. So the analysis is industry average current ratio is good because it's higher than Aurora Prime Berhad. When it's higher, the more the high, the more it's good. Yeah. So next for the quick ratio, for industry average is 1.4x and the Aurora Prime Berhad is 0.77x. So the analysis, industry average quick ratio is good because it's higher than Aurora Prime Berhad. Quick ratio, as I mentioned earlier, the higher is the good. Total asset turnover for industry average is 56.7%, and the Aurora Prime Berhad is 47%. The total asset turnover industry average is higher than Aurora Prime Berhad. Does it make it good? Yeah. For industry information, for average collection period for industry average, they had 105 days, while Aurora Prime Berhad has 148 days. So the analysis, average collection period industry average is good since it's the day is shorter than Aurora Prime Berhad. When the day is shorter, the is good. The longer the day, it's not good. The debt ratio for industry average is 75.3%, and the Aurora Prime Berhad is 65%. So the debt ratio for Aurora Prime good is the debt ratio for Aurora Prime is good because it's lower than industry average. So for the last question, show the impact on net profit margin assuming net income in 2023 increased by 30% while revenue remain the same. So for the 2023, the revenue is 2,700, while the net income is 191 ringgit and 30 cent. So this is how to calculate this net income. We multiply by the percent increase, then we got the new net income. So 191 ringgit and 30 cent multiply by 30%, so we get 57.39 cent. So the new net income, which 191 ringgit and 30 cent plus the 57 ringgit and 39 cent. So we get the new net income is 284 ringgit and 69 cent. So for the new the net profit margin, which is new net income divided by the revenue, then times 100. So 284 and 69 cent divided by 2,700 times 100, then we get the new net profit margin, which is 9.21%. So the net profit margin will arises to 9.21% if the net income in 2023 increases by 30% while revenue stay at the same at 2,700 ringgit. This show that the stronger profitability without needing additional revenue.